from Ogden, Utah. Hello, friend. Thank you for pressing play on this latest episode of the Brassy Broadcast, or as we're calling this little mini-season chronicling our RV adventures, the Brassy Roadcast. I'm Jen Eads, the head broad in charge at the Brassy Broadcasting Company and a curious girl full of questions.
And I'm Beth Kindig, and I do whatever the head broad in charge tells me to do.
And tonight, you held the phone, also known as the camera, while I did a live from the loo, recorded live in the loo in my mom and dad's RV. And we'll be inviting Barb and Gary onto the show here shortly.
Yay!
We pulled out of West Yellowstone this morning around 8:30 and then returned our podcast recording studio, also known as the Dodge Grand Caravan minivan, to the car rental return at the airport down in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Then we got picked up by mom and dad in the RV.
Don't forget the van was also our safe place.
Oh, right. Now we no longer have a safe place.
Safe place. That's concerning, don't you think?
A little bit, based on the behavior of my parents that are sitting across the table from us as we try to record this podcast.
Oh, it's not his fault. He's so darn funny. And then just your mom's cracking up and it makes me crack up.
And she encourages him.
I know. That's what a good supportive spouse does.
I must not be a good supportive spouse.
No, because I get censored a lot. Anyway.
It's going to take me a while to edit this podcast tonight. Yeah. You know what we need to talk about?
What?
Today is an international holiday.
Yes, it is.
Do you know what international holiday it is?
Yes, I do, because I had to record a live from the loo with you singing about what international holiday it is.
Please share.
It's International Podcast Day.
Yay! And what brings a family together like a podcast? And I have my parents sitting across the table as I try to record this podcast that it's probably going to take me 3 hours to edit a 15-minute podcast. So meet Barb and Gary.
Hello.
Hello.
Dad, act right.
I can't see it.
Oh, I can't even do this.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm going to put you in charge of this segment.
Okay.
Friends, I'm going to turn the microphone over to my trusty co-host, Beth Kindig, to handle this segment of Meet Barb and Gary.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate being able to hold the microphone for the first time ever during the podcast. So I feel very important. And I know I'm supposed to speak into the side of it and not directly. I think I'm holding it in the proper fashion. So we are very excited this evening to bring Barb and Gary onto the show. You had a brief glimpse at Jen's dad's humor while we were in the safe van the other night. And now, as we sit in the RV and Barb and Gary are sitting across from me, you're going to get the full force of the couple. I have known Barb and Gary now for 17 years. They are wonderful people. And tonight they're cracking me up so much that I'm crying and I'm getting warm. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Barb and Gary Eads. Welcome to the show. Really appreciate the opportunity to be on this RV trip with you. And because this is a new RV, we would like to tell our listeners what you think is important about breaking in a new RV, or what kind of trials and tribulations you've had as you break in your new RV. And keep it G-rated for breaking in the RV.
Well, my only thoughts on that is that if you've got a couple of your children with you, that they should give at least their parents a little bit of free time to themselves instead of just always being there, hanging around. I mean, let's face it, you can hang around, but you can't hang out.
Barb, do you concur with your husband's thoughts on breaking in your new RV with your children around?
Oh, absolutely. Jen, don't be so embarrassed, honey. It's just your edit.
Continuing on with the RV. So you've broken it in now. Tell us some of the
We haven't.
No. Other than this evening, of course, being a highlight, what have been some of the other highlights of this trip for you so far? The good stuff.
Silence. The really, really good stuff?
Mhm.
Well, we had cobbler tonight with ice cream.
Well, I'm very sad right now. I can think of numerous highlights. Barb, surely you have a better highlight than just the delicious cobbler.
I have enjoyed just hanging out with my girls and trying, just talking because we never get to when we're home. So, and as far as the highlights of the trip, I think I have enjoyed seeing all the beauty and the nature and the wild animals. And I just absolutely love the national parks. It's just a beautiful opportunity to travel and enjoy the things that we never get to see at home.
So our after dinner entertainment tonight was nothing less than spectacular. And I just want Gary to give us a little review of how this whole pony show went down.
Well, a quick review. I have this trained pony called Zippy. And when you unzip the back of him, you can turn him on, and the thing dances, he talks, it sings, and it plays the fiddle.
I got to tell you, folks, that's not as perverted as it sounds. There really is a zipper on this horse, and there's a little switch that you turn on. It looks like you're trying to give him some kind of an examination, but he's a very entertaining horse. And what's more entertaining than the horse is watching Gary work the horse. Do you like the horse, Barb?
No. No, there are two of them actually, our traveling companions, and the other RV have one also that we bought at the Oklahoma National Mini Show.
Mm-hmm. Mom, you got to talk into the
Oh,
microphone.
they bought these two little horses stuffed horses at the Oklahoma National Mini Horse Show where Gary was judging. And they're like little boys with toys. Who can be the silliest, and it's kind of crazy.
And in your estimation, who was the winner, Gary or Bud, the aforementioned friend?
Gary, of course. He's my blue ribbon winner.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
50 years of marriage, folks. That right there sums it up. There's nothing but love in this RV.
Oh my God. Can we be done?
No, we're not done. One thing that we need to catch up on is, as we talk about previous episodes, I know everybody was probably concerned about my gastrointestinal difficulties that I experienced yesterday. And I just wanted everybody to know that today was a very solid day. So things are much better today. And I appreciate all the messages of concern that I received due to that unfortunate incident 15 times yesterday. Jen, I wish you guys could see video on this. Jen's head has been in her hand the whole time we've been talking. But Gary has something to say now.
It's good to see that you become so adept at this because you have now taken over the microphone, it looks like. And instead of being an assistant, you are the head man, or should I say the head cheese or something like that. The head broad. So whether or not you two can arrange this as a team or whether it's a one-on-one battle, but I understand once some people get a microphone in their hands, it's hard to get it out of their hands. But please do not fight over the microphone in the RV. It's not made for a wrestling match.
Keep that in mind this evening, you two. That's all I've got to say. In all fairness to me, she handed me the mic and said, "You do it tonight," because her hand was busy holding her head, as I mentioned before, because this has not been a normal podcast for us, but still highly entertaining, I feel. That'll probably be a 5-minute podcast based on this editing job you need to do tonight. Jen, what was the highlight of the day for you?
I think it's going to be when I can be done editing this podcast and I can go to sleep.
Wow. I hope you folks out there listening don't feel the same way, because we're having a great time entertaining ourselves and again laughing till we're crying. So I'm now going to give the mic back to Jen so she can do her thing. Don't give this to me to hold again, because I'll take it.
I won't. I will never, ever, ever turn the microphone over to you.
Yes.
And with that, it's time to pack it up and get rolling to our next destination. which will be somewhere in Wyoming tomorrow.
Cheyenne.
Thanks for riding along on the Brassy Roadcast. You can follow our adventures on Instagram and Twitter at BrassyBroadGen. And if you know someone that would enjoy our shenanigans, which I hate to ask, but please press the share button. But I don't have high hopes. But thanks for listening. Now get out and explore the world around you.